All right, hold on just a second. I've got to change up my view here. You're seeing too much of my mount and not enough of my work spot, surface. So just one second. All right, now it looks like it's a little dark down here, but I don't think there's anything I could do about that. Let me just try to move a few other things just in case. Not sure why I'm getting a little darkness over here shading, but I'm underneath my big light, so who knows? Could be the weather out there and it's dark. So good evening, folks. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Sharon McNall. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. Tonight's card class is a free card class based on Valentine's Day. I'm going to be featuring the Country Bouquet, Alpha Best, and Hooray for Surprises stamp sets. We'll be doing a little bit of die cutting. We'll be doing some fussy cutting, tying a bow. We'll see how it goes. But before our class begins, I wanted to just to remind you of a few things that I'm running for the month of January. I have my mini album 6x6 that is still orderable. So you can find all that information on my website, inspiredbygram.com. And all the information, pricing, what's included is in there. Super great deal. Worked very hard on this one, so I appreciate the orders that have come in so far. So if you've missed out, go to my website and find out more. We'll be using the Sweet Thoughts Memory and More's cards for that one. I also have my ordering special, which features perennial lavender. That can also be found on my website. And don't forget, trying to take, I hope you can take advantage of one or of all these classes. I'm still working towards my goal of $100,000 in career to date sales with Stampin' Up. So I'll be starting my 4th year with Stampin' Up on February 24th. And I would that's my goal for December 31st to try to get that accomplished before the end of the year. So if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up and wanted to be a part of the Inspired Daisies team, hop onto my website and you'll be able to get that information. We're running a special glass mat studio. And also another thing, if you don't want the glass mat studio, you can get an additional $30 in Stampin' Up products for $99. So it's a great deal. When I was a hobby stamper back in about 2012, I was a hobby stamper and I decided to join to get the discount. And about 4 years ago, I turned business minded. So you can see a lot of time for me was spent as a hobby stamper, taking advantage of first you get 20% off. Once you reach $1,800, you'll get 25% off your retail pricing. Plus, you have to think about it. If something goes on sale, like the clearance rack, some things on there are up to 60% off. And then you can tack on your demonstrator discount of either 20 or 25%. And you're talking 80 to 85% off products that are exceptional products. Even though they're on the clearance rack, they're still exceptional products. And when I am creating projects for craft fairs, I go there. The first thing I do is go to a clearance rack to see if I can get something really inexpensive. And a lot of times I can do that. If you're interested in becoming an Inspired Daisy, you can email me at Karen@inspiredbygram.com. Okay, so these are the 4 cards I'm going to be making. I'll try to get through these. Some of them are a little bit more entailed than the others. So I'm going to start with the sending you lots of love, and then we'll move on from there. So let me just put these over. I will just briefly look at the comments to see if everything is going on. No, the glass mat studio is not available for demonstrators yet, Lynn. We will hopefully be able to order it after the joining promotion is done at the end of February. They don't know. So they haven't given us a yes or no on that. So hopefully it is, but you know, I can't guarantee anything. So let's get started with the sending you lots of love. Two of my cards are going to be, actually, I think three, will be using the Be Mine Designer Series paper. Let's take a look at that really quickly. It is found in the mini catalog, and it's this huge spread here. You can see here, there's lots of projects with it. On this side, we've got the Designer Series paper and all the little items that go with it. I have the sweet sorbet ribbon that I'll be making with it. I didn't pull these in because I just used whatever I had. So I like to finish up some things that I actually have open before I treat myself to a new embellishment. So this is what we'll be using on two of the cards. And then the other one is on page 14 and 15, Forever Love. And it's the Specialty Designer Series paper, which is right here. We can go through these really quickly. This is the Be Mine. I've already cut into the pack, so you'll see little pieces that are maybe I just have left over. But this is really cute. We're going to be using this one first. And then we're going to be using this pattern on another card. I love the colors in this. And this really not necessarily a Valentine's Day card. It can be anything. So I tried to use a variation of stamp sets. I don't have the stamp set that goes with this one. I am using a different one, which is new to me. So maybe it's new to you as well. But it is going to be my stamp set for February card club. All right, here's another one. We'll be using this one. I love the little bees. They're super cute. I am fussy cutting one tonight. It's going to be a little bit different than the one I used on the original card. And then I love this pattern too. I wanted to bring in some flowers, and it's a really pretty card. So, and I actually have some pool party as well in that Valentine's Day card. So this is the paper we'll be using for the first card. And then the other paper I'll briefly show. It's a specialty paper, so that means it has gold, some kind of foiling in it. So this one actually has gold in it. And I love the colors. Moody Mauve is one. Let's see. Moody Mauve, Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, and Very Vanilla. And they are kind of directional. So as you can see, I've already cut into this one, but super pretty. Hopefully it's not glaring on your side. But this is the front and the back side. And then all of my favorite colors are in this Designer Series paper. And then just because it says it's Forever Love, doesn't mean you can't make masculine cards with it. This right here would definitely work for a masculine card. That probably not so much. I love this one. It's got little tiny, I want to say they're daisies. I'm not quite sure, but they look like daisies to me. This will be my new welcome card for Inspired Daisies joining our team. I just think it's so pretty. And then this is the reverse side. Lots of petal pink there. This one's really pretty too with a rose. And it's like one of my newest favorite greens. Evening Evergreen used to be, but now I think Pretty Peacock, I gravitate to it towards a lot of different projects. My album is almost 100% Pretty Peacock. So if you love that color, then you love my album. So let me just put this off to the side and we'll get started creating some cards. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I'm a day off on my live, and that's because there was an accident on the interstate when I was coming home, and it was like so crazy. Traffic was backed up, I don't know how many miles, and everybody was trying to get on the interstate, and it was just crazy. I don't think anybody got hurt. I did see the 18-wheeler, and I think it was a Honda Civic that kind of was in an accident, and of course the Honda Civic or Accord, I couldn't really tell what it was. It was blue, by the way. Definitely is totaled. So hopefully nobody is hurt in that accident. So let me grab the stamp set. I love this one. I just started using it. It's called Hooray for Surprises. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so it's a clear stamp set. And if you want the item number, it's 162851. And I haven't really used too much of it. I'm using this one here and a sentiment and another sentiment here. So again, this is going to be February Card Club. So if you're in my card club, that's what we'll be using. If you're not, you should be. It's super fun. I love designing every single month for my customers. So that information will be on my website. Is actually the January one is still up, so you can kind of go to that to see what I'm working on for Card Club. That should be shipping within the next probably 3 days. My electric die cutting machine broke last night and it's dead. So I had to order a new one, and that one's not going to be coming until Saturday. So Card Club might be a little bit late this month, only because it's beyond my control. There's no way I can die cut all those pieces with just our cut and emboss machine. It's just too much. So maybe a day or two late. I'll communicate with you guys if it's going to be too late. All right, so I am going to be stamping with Memento Black. I chose Memento Black because I've got Sweet Sorbet back here, and that's kind of the main color. So I wanted to pull the black from the images. And so let me just kind of stamp, hopefully get it in the middle. All right, it's blue, yucky. Look at that. So I got to restamp that because something might be on that stamp. Once in a while, you can get some fuzz on it and not notice. So let me just clean that off and see if I can get a better stamped image. Nothing's on that ink pad, so let's see what we can get. All right, that's better. So I want to set that aside. That's really all the stamping I'm going to be doing. You can stamp on the back side of your card. A lot of times I like to go same color. So the same color ink would be Sweet Sorbet. So let me find, actually that one's already packed away. I have a class tomorrow. So some things are already packed and some things are not. So I'm going to grab, which color is that one? Poppy Parade. It's a little light, but that's okay. If you're selling cards, you need to have your the copyright Stampin' Up on it. That abides by the Angel Policy rule. And I sell my cards, so I need to make sure I have that on there. So while I have it out, let's just stamp another one right in the lower corner there. Some people stamp in the middle. I choose to stamp down at the bottom. All right, there's one other thing that we're going to stamp, and we are using the Radiating Stitches die. That's going to be going in the inside of the card, and I am going to be using Daffodil Delight. It's kind of a bright spring color, and I'm just using this little tiny like flower image and just going to pop a little bit of color on the white die cut here. Okay, so that's all I want to do. You can color this in with some Wink of Stella if you would like, and that would kind of push the color into the flower so you can like get some of that white to be a lighter yellow instead of white. So I'm just pulling that ink, because it's water-based, into the white area, and that's just giving a nice little highlight of yellow. And also you've got that glitter going into the flower too. So when somebody sees that card, they open it up, they're going to see that glitter and they'll see your message too. All right, so now we're just gonna assemble the card. This is probably the easiest card we'll be making tonight. So I've got some of the Be Mine Designer Series paper. And what you do is, I chose not to use this side, but this is what you do. I think this is measured at 4 by 5. Yeah, no, 3 7/8. 3 7/8. Thinking no, 3 3/4 by 5, and then I just cut like 1.25 inches off it, so I can just have another contrasting panel. That's if I cut that off, then it would be this side. But I just use another pattern to bring in some of that Daffodil Delight, because I'm actually adhering it onto Daffodil Delight. So that's kind of what I like to do, is to contrast, use the Designer Series paper and pull in that panel that's underneath it. So we'll put this one right up here. It's got a very tiny border. Okay, and then we have this one that's going to, oh, so cute. Gotta cover up those little bees, and we're gonna put these two together. Now I'm looking over here, so I have about the same distance of border. If I wanted more, I could just overlap it, and with this Sweet Sorbet ribbon, because that doesn't really matter, because if it was overlapped, your ribbon is going to be covering it up. So there was no need to worry about that. But mine is pretty good, so I'm going to leave it as is. I added a little bit of the Stampin' Seal right there, so I can pull this ribbon straight across and that it will stay in place right here. And then let me turn it over. I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal Plus to the back side. And then let me just flip this over. Make sure it's straight. Okay, so that should just stay there pretty good. Just make sure before we adhere it down, I want to make sure this ribbon is good and straight. Okay, I'm going to adhere this right straight down to the card base itself. No Stampin' Dimensionals on this one. And again, our card base here is Sweet Sorbet. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I've already pre-scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, then I've got a 2-inch circle, and this is 1 3/4 inch. To give this a little bit of definition of height, we are going to flip that one over, and this one we will add some Stampin' Dimensionals to it. And I like to add 3 to kind of form some kind of triangle. Now I'm using the edge pieces of these dimensionals, that's why they look a little odd. But make sure you definitely use your edge pieces. So now I'm going to pop this one up over that Sweet Sorbet. So it's got a little bit of definition there. Hopefully you can kind of see that little height it's going to give. And then we're going to just adhere this over top of the ribbon. Like probably like right around here. You could pop it up again, but I'm going to leave mine a little bit lower. We can add in this panel. Again, I'm using the radiating stitches. You could put a piece of designer paper behind it if you wanted to kind of tame down the inside and not make it so bright. I'm going to choose just to add the white. And just make sure it's good and straight and centered. All right, so we got this so far. Now I'm going to be fussy cutting out one of these bees, which is not going to work because I have the, you know what, I probably used the wrong, no, I didn't use the wrong, I don't know why. So I'm going to grab my designer paper and let's see what we can, I'm going to find something super easy to cut, which is this piece here. I say it's super easy, but we'll see. Let me just, gonna cut this out here. Okay. So I'm gonna go for this one right here, and then I have this other, this one's really cute too. Maybe I'll do this one. I'm gonna try to go a little bit fast, and still my hand's not 100% healed, so fussy cutting can be a little challenging for me, but we're getting there. I just hope I don't need to have PT. That's kind of, would be horrible if I have to go through that, but I don't have my brace on tonight because I don't need to use it all the time, but I do use it to help support my wrist, and I'm developing scar tissue. Apparently, is what they said. That's why my hand is still going numb. And that was supposed to defeat the purpose, was to have surgery to, you know, get rid of that numbing, but I don't know. We'll see. I go back in another, I think it's like 3 weeks to get rechecked. So, all right, I want to make sure that little stem of that flower is in there. So, almost done. I love this little bee. It's so cute. It's like, let me get rid of some more of that white. It's just like so smiley and happy. And I think we definitely need a little bit more happiness in this world. Isn't that super cute? All right, I'm going to save this one for another card. And then let's take a dimensional. We're going to figure out where this is going to go. So on this one here, it's a different bee. So it was kind of flying up. This one's just saying, hey, hello, here's a flower, I would say. So maybe, I think I'm going to put it right here. So to do that, you need to have a dimensional at the lower part of the bee. So kind of right here where the flower stem is. And this is where the kind of the edge pieces work really nicely. And I'm going to just prep that. I'm going to add a little bit of Seal Plus. I should find my silicone craft sheet, but I don't know where that is. Okay, and oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, so now that one is popped up. It's at the same level as the white. And then we are going to add some of the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I thought these looked kind of nice with the paper. Again, you can use the, it's called the adhesive backed hearts and flowers. That is the embellishment that goes with the suite. But as I mentioned earlier, I like to use up my embellishments before I tackle some more, because if I don't, they'll never get used. So I'm going to form my triangle with my iridescent gems, and I think I'm going to go like right over here. So we've got a triangle formed this way. And for the, I'm not going to dress up the envelope. I'm going to just add your DSP. Actually, maybe I can. That's what this is for. Almost. It's a little bit too long, but let's see what this is going to look like on your envelope. Who wouldn't like to get this card, right? So I just like to add the designer paper to the front scraps. This one's going over the edge. The length you want is 4 3/8, and the width is whatever you want. So isn't that super cute? So here's this one. Here's the one we made. Put those two together. And then here's the sample card. So very easy, quick and easy. You can actually, on this little bee, I added Winka Stella. So let me do that on the wings here. And just kind of brush stroke that little bee. Okay, so I'll bring it up a little bit closer for you to see this one. And then here is this one as well. Both super cute. This could be a different kind of card other than Valentine's Day because we've got some like jams and jellies back here, some honey. Maybe it's all honey. It's probably all honey. Why did I say jams and jellies? I don't know, because my grandmother was always selling her jams and jellies. So that's what I thought of it. But this could be like you're sending a gift of honey. You could enclose a card that has the honey on it. So just a thought, you know, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Okay, so let me see if there's any questions I need to answer. And if there's not, we'll move on to probably this one here. All right, so let's see who we've got on here. We've got Debbie, Carla, Lynn, Barbara, Carla, let's see. Oops. We know we love your greens, Karen. I like the blue greens. Yeah. I love cherry color. Wonder if it has blue in it. I don't know, Lynn. It might, but oh, Kathleen's here too. So now I wonder if that means you like yellow base colors and I like blue base colors. I don't know. I just like this one. Daffodil Delight actually is my favorite yellow, if that helps you out. Okay, so this one will be up next. So let me just pick up my workstation here. And I've got bins for every single card tonight, so I can kind of stay semi-organized. I've got to attend a Stampin' Up! Zoom event at 8 o'clock, so I'm probably going to be a little bit late to that. But that's kind of how it goes. Okay, so, all right, the next one is this one here. I'm using green, which is in the paper, this type of green. Festive Pearls, Lemon Lime Twist is the color of green. I'm bringing in some Pool Party, by the way. And I think we've got everything. So the only thing is I need my die cutting machine. And I might be using my other one off to the side. I'm not sure yet. I'll decide on the fly. Okay, so Lemon Lime Twist. It's a very bright green. It's got some yellow tint in it, but it's one of the brighter greens that we have in our color collection. This one is, again, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And this Lemon Lime Twist is in our paper. So I chose the flower pattern, and I'm highlighting the green that's in there. So this will be adhered to some sweet sorbet. So this size here is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. So let me just grab my Seal Plus. I'm working with Seal Plus tonight because my other liquid glue is off on my other desk, and this desk has all my adhesive on it. So all right, this one you can pop up. I'm choosing not to. Again, I'm just going to adhere it right down to the card front. With your seal, you don't need to go all the way around. Just these little like 1/2-inch marks of adhesive is going to keep this stuck. Okay, so try to limit your adhesive when you're using it. That's why I do like the Seal Plus. I have a love-hate relationship with the seal. It just gets too sticky for me for some reason. And it usually the holder becomes a pretty hot mess. And that's why I kind of choose liquid glue. Although that can get messy as well. All right, so this is the Pool Party. It's a die cut using the Nested Essentials dies. Okay. And then, did I stamp on the inside of this one? I did not. Okay. So I'm going to put these two together too, because they were right in my visual site. I've got a piece of white, basic white, 4 by 5 1/4, and I've got a scrap piece of the Be Mine designer paper. And I'm just adding that to the bottom. I love to use my scraps up. I'm finding now that I'm using them on my envelopes and a lot on my inside, my panels on the inside, I'm using a lot more. Why is this cut smaller? I don't know. I probably grabbed the wrong one, but that still looks okay. All right, so now we need to stamp. So I've got my banner. This is from the Stitched Shapes dies, another staple in my craft room. The stamp here is this one and this one. So Country Bouquet is the Happy Valentine's Day. That's the stamp set. And the Hooray for Surprises is my new stamp set. And we're going to be stamping this image here in the Lemon Lime Twist. I do need to get some scrap white. So grab that. I'll have to go get my die cuts too. Where's my die? Oh no. I might have to fussy cut this one out. I'm gonna have to do that because who knows where my die is. It's probably on my desk. I thought I had everything together. So far I'm only missing my die. It's probably in another bin. Okay, so I just stamped that in the Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, and then the Happy Valentine's Day is going to be stamped in Pool Party. And the reason why is I want to take the Pool Party that's in the designer paper and in this die cut here, and I want to pull it up to the top here so we can see that. You know, your focal point's going to be this heart, but underneath it will be that Happy Valentine's Day. So you'll see that heart first, but then I think your eyes will travel to the Pool Party and then over here before it goes around the flowering paper. It's really bothering me. I don't know where that die is. Oh, I think I have it. I do have it. I put it back. I still need to have my template made. Hint, hint to Debbie if you're still watching. I'll probably get it together eventually since it's going to be my card clip set. Okay, Happy Valentine's barely fits, but it fits. I didn't stamp that 100%. If you can see the day up there is kind of a little bit off, but if you have a Stampin' Right marker, you can take the fine tip and then just kind of lightly fill it in. And then only us will know that I used the marker. And so that letter D is now filled in and looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to be doing some die cutting. And I've got that cut down. I'm going to actually, let's get some dimensionals on this one too so I can have that prepped and ready to go. So I'll put 3 edge pieces. So I start from the outside and work myself to the middle. And then this is ready to go. I'll just put this over here for right now. Let me grab my mini cut and emboss. Okay, we used this last week in my live. Let's see if I can die cut as well. Okay, so I keep all my mini cut and emboss plates together, and I use a rubber band. That's all I use. I don't lose them this way, which is good. Okay, we'll start with plate number 2, which is plate 1. Okay, that's the white one. Then number 2. Then our paper. And then the die. So this one, I have to admit, I don't know how this, I got to learn because I haven't learned this. It's a brand new set for me. And I'm going to show you what this does. So hopefully I can do this without any washi tape. Okay, my other plate is, where'd it go? There. Okay. Sandwich this in. Oh shoot, it moved. Hold on. If I move it again, I'll just run over and get some more washi tape. Okay, that looks really good. Do you guys ever have a hard time with static electricity with your dyes? I have that issue too. When it gets super dry here, the static electricity will move as well. Okay, let's see how I die cut, and I'm going to show you what it does. I think it's acting as a pop-up window. So you see how this has these little like edges here? So it's like one of those in Paper Pumpkin where the dies are already made. You know, they have that little white attachment. Well, like popping it out. But I will learn why we have this and why it's like that. I'll have to search. Maybe you know. If you know, let us know. But for right now, I'm just going to trim this little piece off. And that looks mighty fine. All right, we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this lemon line twist die cut. And I've got my last dimensional. So let me grab another sheet here. This is, I printed out the color chart on my white paper and ended up not using it. So you guys all know we have two sides to every paper. So this is still usable. That's why you'll see that printing on the back side. Okay, so I'm just going to place this right here for right now, because I want to figure out how this is going to look before I totally get these adhered down. Now I don't want to drop it down here because I want some of this blue showing. So if I just bring it up about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm also looking at these little holes here that the die has made, and there's 2 over here and there's 2 over here. So I know that is equal. So then that one's good. And now this one, I'm going to look at the space between the bottom of the heart and the top here as well. This was a little die cut off, but that's okay. And I'm going to press that down. And then I'm going to add the Festive Pearls, which are such a staple in my craft room. You can use these 12 months of the year. If I was to buy the starter kit, I would certainly use, I'd make sure that the Festive Pearls are in my starter kit because they're inexpensive. I think they're $7. And you get 4 different colors. You've got a blue, a cherry cobbler, silver, and gold. So those are used all throughout the year. And they're inexpensive. And I make sure I get a second pack in my first demonstrator order too, because you'll get 20% off the $7. Okay, so that is it for this card. Again, this one's die cut a little bit better, but you can kind of see where I cut that little piece off. But that is our second card for the day. Again, this does not have to be a Valentine's Day. You can simply stamp happy birthday, thinking of you, get well, maybe even Easter. That would work too. I know there's not pastel colors in there, but some people don't like pastel colors and they like bright and cheerful. Okay, so let me just see if there's any other. Doesn't look like it. I have no comments after Finley Hunter. So if there's comments, I don't see them. All right, so you guys can look at these while I clean up my area, and we'll move on to card number 3, which I don't know which one I'll do. Probably this one. We'll be making this card next. Okay. I actually want to keep these up so I can review those. My white envelope. Okay. These cards do kind of require a little bit more supplies than normal, so that's why I have them all in these little bins here. Because if I was to have this outside of like, oh man, I didn't, you know what, I didn't, oh boy, can be a learning experience for Karen. I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, so we have a lot of good stuff here for this one. Okay. I did use, I'll show these to you while I have them here. I did use the Scalp Contours dies for this card. Those are another staple in my craft room. That would be a necessity in my starter kit. Okay, so we're using the Alpha Best dies, and this can be ordered. I'm not sure if it's still a bundle or not. It's been around for a few years, but the best label punch goes with it. The item number here is 158885, and the stamp set is 158884. Okay, so let's see what I can do with this card here. Okay, what do I have? I got two of these. I don't know why I have two kits made, but we'll see. Okay, so we're going to be working with the Country Bouquet punch. So when I'm using a multiple image punch, I like to create a template. So I just punch this out on some basic white, and then I will know. So then to mount my double heart here, I'll show you how I did this. I put it on here. So when I punch this out, it's going to work perfectly. Okay, so then I would put this stamp back on. All right, and then I'll show you how that all goes. Maybe, why don't I just do it right now? Okay, let me grab, I'm going to use this scrap here. The only thing you need to do is you don't, there's a punch again. So you're going to be punching it this way. So depending on your paper, I'm going to punch it this way, but you can also punch it this way as well. Just you have to remember not to punch it like, or stamp this way if you're using a different, like this way, okay? Sorry, this is hard to demonstrate. But okay, so say I stamped it this way, right? Okay, I can't punch this out unless I cut all the paper down. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. All right, we're going to be using, here's my sweet sorbet ink I was looking for earlier. All right, we are going to get the punch, okay, and make sure we are stamping the correct way. Okay, so we have that one. And I'm gonna need this later, so I'm just put that aside. So now, make sure that gets dry. I can slide this in, okay, so it's a little off. So I will just take my paper snips to trim it down. And then I'll slide this punch up here. So now I can reach all around the hearts here. And when I'm satisfied with where it's all going to be, I'm going to punch it. I don't need these leaves, so those will get discarded. And I'm going to put these over here. And the other thing I want to do is I want to stamp again this one here in Petal Pink because I want a different color of heart. So we must make sure we clean our stamp or else we will contaminate the Petal Pink. Now Petal Pink, when it stamps, it looks different. than when it's dry. So hopefully I can kind of show you what I mean. All right, so again, that bigger heart is at the top and the smaller heart is at the bottom. Okay, see what I mean? It looks a little orange, but it will dry a little bit more pink. At least that's what mine does. So I'm gonna let that dry for just a little bit. And now I'm gonna work on this love. Okay, we're using the Alphabet stamp. And again, you've got to be careful about this one too. I've got these all on my little block here, so I didn't want to lose these. So let me grab some A blocks and the little punch. So for me, it's easier to punch this way. So that means, oops, that's my envelope. Where's my weight? Let me cut this down. So that means I'm going to stamp horizontally, okay? So let's grab the outline image and we're gonna put it on an A block. And I want my sweet sorbet. And I'm just gonna stamp 4 of these. I wanna make sure I leave enough white in between because when you punch it, it gives a little white border. Oh, wow, that one's totally juicy. Okay, that's good. Definitely want to clean this one. I only have 3 A blocks, so this will be a little challenging. Okay, so then we're going to take one of these little letters. And I'm going to stamp these inside the little, I can call it a jar, I guess. I don't know. L-O. And I'm trying to stamp it right in the middle. And let me just pull this one off. And I'm gonna, where's my other block? It's right in front of me. V. See how tiny this is? You gotta be super careful. And then the V is going in here. And then the E is here. So let me just clean these. Going to a B block, which is bigger, is a little too aggressive in the size of the block. So you'll have better control if you have an A block. So let me just take this O off and put the E on. And then stamp the E. Okay. I think, let's see, is there any stamping on the inside? Yes, the little flower. So we've got the little tiny flower here. This is when I will pull in a B block because this is too big for your A block. And then the smaller scallop contours. And then I'm just going to put this little flower here down in the middle on the bottom, or you could put it at the top. Maybe I'll just do it a little bit differently on this card. So I think that's all the stamping I have for you. If not, we'll pull out the inks again. All right, now we're going to do a bunch of punching. So let's try the heart first. So again, I think you can tell now that that pink, petal pink, did dry a little different. It's not as orange. Okay, so come on. Okay, so I just want the hearts, and these can go in the recycle bin. And now I'm going to take this little best label punch and I'm going to slide this in and hover over it until I get a nice little white around. There's the L, O, V, and E. Okay. And all of these will have dimensionals on the back, but I'm gonna leave those right there for right now. And let's work on the card itself. All right, got lots of little pieces here. Make sure everything's out. I'm using Sweet Sorbet again, so 8.5 by 5.5, already scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm using the larger scallop contours, and I'm adding a piece of the Be Mine designer paper. Oh, this is super cute too, but it's going to be too white. Okay, if you want to just kind of check to kind of figure it out, all you would do is kind of place these on or around, and you can kind of see where you kind of need a different background. It's just too white. Maybe a scallop contours in the Sweet Sorbet would work, but I want the other side, so we're gonna have to cover up those little bees again. And then this is gonna get centered amongst the stitched edges there. Okay, there's a little stitching around. And this is going to get popped up as well. So we'll grab 5 dimensionals on this one. Okay, we'll get those pressed down real good. And then we'll bring in our card base again. And it's going to get centered on the base. Then I've got a small piece of petal pink that I've already embossed using the Basics embossing folders. You do not need a lot of adhesive, just 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to place this about 2 inches up from the bottom. Now I'm going to, let's add our dimensionals back on the back side of the love. And our regular dimensionals will fit perfectly on this. Okay, so let's get all these ready to go. Surprised I haven't lost these. They're so small. Okay, so got those all over there, ready to go. This is going to get popped up, but only need half popped up. And this one is going to be totally raised up. So we will grab another 2 dimensionals. You don't need 3. You probably could have actually gotten away with just 1. I'm going to angle this over the edge of that scallop. And then this one here, I'm going to place here, but I only want 1 dimensional underneath that side of the heart, because this one here, this side, is going to get your adhesive, your tape runner. That way, it's not double the height. If I was to add a dimensional here, it's going to be 2 times as high. So now this is even with a petal pink heart, and now this over here is even all the way across. This little tiny heart here, I'll just add, maybe I will add a glue dot, because that will work as well. And I'm gonna fill in this little gap right here. I don't like that, so let's pop that one right there. I don't want to put 4 on here because that's an even number. And now I'm going to add the word love. So I'm going to work with the letter E. Maybe I should put those on there. E, and go backwards. And I'm kind of lining it up with a petal pink. I'm not securing these all the way down yet, just in case I need to move them. And this one is directional, the L, so it kind of curves over the top of it to the left side. Okay, I think that's pretty good. The sweet sorbet ribbon will be next. I don't have my 10-second bow maker with me because it's packed away. So let me just try to make a bow freehand. This is really hard with my hand. Just bear with me here. Got really super quiet here. I'm focusing. Well, it's okay. Let me just snip this off. I want to go this way. A glue dot, your friendly mini glue dot would be great right here, or you can add your mini or your glue. Biggest thing is I don't want to cover any of those words. Boy, that's a sad looking bow. Let me fix this. Oh boy. Well, I can do it off camera too. I'm just going to show you how I do this. All right, so I don't want any of those little letters covering by the bow, so I'm going to make those tails super short. Okay. The last thing I can do, I didn't get these words very good. The first card was better, but it's because I took more time with it and I wasn't on camera. We're going to adhere this scalp contours down. And I'm going to put this one on the top, the little stamped image. On the other one, I put it on the bottom. I'm also going to give a little bit of iridescent foil gems. We'll add 3 of those. They come in 2 different sizes. And I'm just going to find some of that sweet sorbet area. And I'm going to create that triangle. 1, 2, oops, I lost it. So 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I'm going to put right there. Okay, that one is done as well. So let's bring in the better bow on this one. So look at this one instead of that one. You can also use your Winka Stella again on this, and I would just kind of, oops, that kind of didn't work. I have never had that happen. Okay, so I'm just going to brush stroke horizontally because that's how the stamp works, horizontally. And that just gives a little bit of glitter. Okay, so well, let me know what you think about this one. I absolutely love this layout. I will get ready for our last card, which is a little bit more detailed, but it shouldn't take too long. And on that card, we're going to be using, let's see. It's here somewhere. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Pull tab to disconnect. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. A heart's performance underneath. Okay. Okay, no script here. What is no script here? What company products are being used? Okay, thank you for answering, Lynn. That's Stampin' Up. Okay. All right, so doesn't look like there's any questions, so we're going to move on to our final cards. Let me get my area ready to go. We're going to be using lots of hearts. So this is kind of like a pop-up card in a way. It doesn't use a lot of supplies, but we can go over them right now. We have, we'll be using Hooray for Surprises. Again, You Are Simply Amazing. And the festive, no, not these. These are the Blooming Pearls. And I've got a scrap, bubble bath, and another panel. I've got my thick white. I got a bunch of die cut hearts. And I got my stamp. I'm using Moody Mauve. I've got tear and tape. I've got some baker's twine and some strips. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to die cut on this strip here. And I hope I can do this with a mini. So let me just grab it and hopefully I can. Okay, I know I should have put those plates somewhere. They're here somewhere. Just bear with me. It's gotten a little crazy here on my desk. I'm looking for my plates. Oh, there they are, underneath all my cards I just made. Okay, so we are going to be working again with number 1 and number 2. Then I have a bunch of hearts, and hopefully I can remember where they all came from. These came from the something. Give it a whirl. Give it a whirl dies. And this one is the Radiating Stitches die. So I'm going to take this panel here, and it's directional, so I want it to go in this way. So the next thing I want to do, since I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is great because it's an odd number, and I want the biggest heart to be kind of in the middle, because you don't want it down here, you don't want it at the top, you probably want it in the middle. So I've got that angled going to the left. And then this little tiny bitty one here, I'm going to put over here, but I'm going to angle it the opposite way. And then I'm going to grab a, let's do this one here, the Radiating Stitches heart. Okay, so let me just make sure I've got enough room here. Once you get them on there, you can move them around. What you don't want is it really close to the edge. So you're going to want to center it. So this one's going to the right. This one needs to go to the left. This one goes to the right. So you're just doing it opposite. Okay, this is not going to work this way. I'm trying to see the gold too. So I'm trying to get to die cut some of the gold as well. Okay, I think you've got it. So left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so that's the direction they're going. I'm looking at the edges to make sure I've got enough room to be able to adhere that to my bubble bath panel. I'm going to simply put this acrylic plate in there, and then we'll crank it through. Okay, and now I need this one here for another heart. That's going to be with the sentiment. I'm going to put these back on my magnet sheet because these are too tiny and I'll probably lose them. So 1, 2, 3. I get another one somewhere. It's, I don't see it. Okay, we'll probably find it. Okay, so again, we go 1, 2, I've got a scrap. And I'm just going to kind of put it right here. And then we have my other plate. We'll crank this one through. And let's put that on here. I'll find my other heart. It's got to be like right in front of me. We can still use this piece for another heart, so I will not throw that one away. All right. So now we're going to work on this piece first, and then we'll work on the rest. So I've got a piece of bubble bath here. It's the same size as the panel, so 2 inches across. So bubble bath, then the DSP. I'm going to adhere this first, and I think I want to use liquid glue for this. So I don't know if I've got any left in this one. So, oh yes, I do. So when you get to the smaller areas, I just like to tap the glue. Because I don't want it oozing out. Then this gets adhered to the bubble bath. And I really don't want any of that bubble bath showing. Okay, now this is the fun part. This is going to be the one that we use for the sentiment, I guess. Let's just make sure first. No. Oh, let me see. Because it's kind of like a puzzle. Yeah, okay. So all these have dimensionals. Even this one, but I'm not going to use that one yet because we need to put some tear and tape on it. I found the little die. Told you it's the smallest one. Really tiny heart. All right, grab the dimensionals. You just need 1 per heart. And then the little tiny one, I don't have any mini dimensionals, so I will just use my scissors to cut a little tiny piece on the edge. Okay, so now before I put the hearts on, I want to put this on the card base itself. So let me just burnish this with my bone folder. And then we will adhere this right down to the front. It's probably going to go over the edge a little bit, only because I tend to do that just in case the white cardstock is not cut correctly. I can trim it off. So I am looking at both sides because when I trim it off, I want to make sure I'm not cutting into the hearts. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to cut the top and bottom off. And get your paper snips, and we're just going to trim that off. It's about 1/16 of an inch. It still needs to be cut up, even if it's that small. And that's what's great about the paper snips. They can cut really close and make a nice cut as well. Okay, so that's ready. Let me burnish this again. It's not really laying down flat. Now the fun is to match these up. Also thought about double stacking the dimensionals. That way it would be even higher. But I'm not doing that, but that could be a good experiment. Okay, we're putting the puzzle back together. This little tiny baby one here. Okay, so can you see how now the designer series paper is put back together? You can fold these up. Just kind of bend them. That way you can kind of see the bubble bath underneath. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. Now we're going to work on the sentiment. So we need a piece of, I got a bunch of, oh shoot, I almost did it again. I almost tripped on my mini cut and emboss machine again. Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, Moody Mauve. And this can be 3/8 of an inch is a better size, but I just went to my trash bin and grabbed, oh, that's not good, what I had, and this is 1/2 of an inch. Oh, that's not good either. Okay, that's much better. I'm going to angle cut this and angle cut. Now we're going to work with the heart, and I should not have put this on there first, but we'll work with it. Grab your tear and tape, and I'm going to put small pieces of tear and tape on the heart because we're going to be wrapping some baker's twine underneath. Oops. And now let's just take my baker's twine. I kind of like wrap it around my hand. This is a little tricky to work with. I noticed it took me a while to work with this and make it look halfway decent. Maybe your linen thread would be easier to use because it's a little bit more stiffer. And I'm just going to cut this single one. Actually, I can just kind of put it around. Now I'm going to just kind of put this on here somehow, flip it around and see what it looks like, which is not centered. Another thing you could do is you could use, what other ribbon would work? Maybe the Moody Mauve, but that's a little too wide. We'll try to get this to work. I just might have to trim down the end pieces. That's better. Okay, so I've got that on there. Now I need to add my dimensionals. This is when I should have added my dimensionals because it would have been easier to wrap around the thread. All right, so we will make, let's see how many we need. Probably, I'm going to add 3 because I want them way up here and on this side as well. And then I'm going to add this. I'll try to fix it a little bit better. But this is going to go right here. I don't care if it's going over the edge because when you put it in the envelope, it's not going to matter. Okay. Now this little sentiment here is going to go over the top. And in the middle here, it's going to have your regular adhesive. And since I'm going to have to trim this down a little bit because I don't want it going over the edge here because you won't be able to close your, put it in your envelope. The linen thread's fine, but this is not. So I think it'll work. It's going to have to work. Okay, so I think we'll need a dimensional at the very end. And then I'll just put a little bit of liquid glue in the middle here because that's going to be touching this Moody Mauve heart. Okay. I'm just going to kind of move this thread out a little bit. The last thing is let's see, those pearls. Again, these are the blooming pearls, lots of different colors. I'm going to throw in the gold because that will match the gold foil that's on the designer paper. I'm going to add 3. Okay, and then 1 more up here. Okay, so that is your final card. So here's the one we just made. And I'm not going to put it on because I'm going to try to fix this card. This is what I would do on the inside. Actually, I'm going to just do it for you. That way this will be done. I love this little sweet flower there. And this is going over the edge, but that's okay. We'll just use our paper snips and trim it up. And there we go. Okay, so we've got this one we made together. This one has more foil than this side here. And then made this one. This one. This one. I'm going to ask you, and you've got 30 seconds to let me know which one is your favorite. Love, amazing, Valentine's, and sending. Okay, so love, amazing, Valentine's, and sending. And yeah, you can see them all, so that's good. All right, I know my laptop is a little delayed, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time to vote until I see it. The vote's coming in. Somebody's got to vote. My favorite, it's really hard, but I love the bee. So this is my favorite. This is my second favorite, third and fourth. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Carla, thank you. Love is my favorite, but all are beautiful. Thank you, Barbara, for voting. And love and amazing. Thank you, Carla. Okay, that is all I have for you guys tonight. 4 cards you can use as Valentine's, all occasion, get well, birthday, just because. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you did. Give me a comment in the comment box if you learned a new trick. I always like to know that. And don't forget about my album, which is still orderable. It's on my website, and also my free with a purchase with a perennial lavender paper. That is also on my website on the right menu bar. And that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and share this with your friends and family. I'd appreciate the support to grow my YouTube channel. All right, I'm off to Zoom with Stampin' Up! To learn more about Instagram. Take care and have a great week.